Hey everyone, it's Hayes, and in today's video we're going to be doing theories for the final 4 episodes of Season 6. And my original plan for this video was going to be like, let's talk theories for, Dirty Fires, Queen of the Dread Zone, etc. But honestly, just from the titles, whilst they are interesting sounding and I'm looking forward to them, don't get me wrong, it's kind of hard to tell which ones will be more filler, which ones will be more plot heavy. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm hoping Nemesis will be plot heavy, for example. But for example, I'm hoping Dirty Fires might be Mark's episode, and we see the next part of the Rule ending where he and Nathaniel reveal their identities to each other. Oh my god, such a good episode, amazing ending. I am also possibly hoping Queen of the Dread Zone will also have Chloe in it. And bouncing off that, I actually want to use this video that instead of focusing on, what I think will happen in Queen of the Dread Zone, what I think will happen in Nemesis, etc, etc, I want to use this video to focus on character-based theories for the final 4 episodes, rather than theories for the episodes themselves. There will be some crossover, but not exactly. So in this video, I'm going to be looking at Marinette, Adrien, Alya, Lila, and Zoe. Zoe does seem like an odd choice. However, I already mentioned Chloe and Queen of the Dread Zone. But if the Queen of the Dread Zone ends up having Chloe in it, I don't necessarily think it could be her akumatized. I think it possibly could be Audrey, or someone else entirely. I do think Zoe will have another big moment. So let's talk about Zoe first before we get to the other 4 kids. So Gren Diaper happens chronologically first in terms of Zoe's Fury arc, where Zoe, in her anger about men threatening Andre, becomes Fury when she goes to transform, which she uses to essentially punish people in Paris who are horrible and don't learn from their bad actions, like Ray, Nelson and Loic. Much like Chloe also hasn't learnt from her bad actions. Now don't get me wrong, I do think Chloe's writing is very odd, and I've discussed it before in other videos. This video is not the reason for it, and the double standards between her and Felix. Please know I don't like it, however, she is the way that she is because Thomas is Thomas. This video isn't the one for it. But with the way she currently is, like when she left in Season 5, when she does bad things, she usually doesn't apologise and she keeps doing said bad things. So Zoe is Fury if Chloe does indeed come back to Paris in Queen of the Dread Zone, and I'm not suggesting she comes back permanently, just temporarily for a visit. Like maybe, for example, Audrey has some sort of fashion show, some sort of magazine event, or Noe is doing something weird, I don't know, I hate that man. And Zoe, as Fury, decides to punish Chloe. And I think this will firstly give Ladybug an interesting moral dilemma. When Pegasus lets her know what happened, because remember, Max was on the tram in Gren Diaper, so he did sort of see Fury. I don't know, she kind of moved quite fast, so I'm not actually sure how much Max saw. Ladybug in that episode was like, yeah, that's not good. And don't get me wrong, I understand where Zoe as Fury is coming from. That is not the purpose of the Bee Miraculous. It's to help people, not to punish people. So arguably, it is an abuse of power. However, as we know, Chloe is Marinette's bully, and in Season 5 for Chloe's last appearance, Marinette really stood up to Chloe during Chloe was on the plane. So while as Ladybug, Marinette is aware that Chloe is a bad person, and to Marinette, she possibly deserved what Zoe did to her. Also, I don't know what she would have done to her though, because I'm speculating. Marinette would also know that's an abuse of power. So she's going to have a difficult choice here, that she either lets Zoe carry on because she felt that Chloe deserved that, given the way Chloe has treated her throughout her life, or it could end the season with Zoe without the Bee Miraculous. Of course, as we know, Marinette doesn't want to keep more than one Miraculous anymore, so would she give it to someone else? Definitely, I think so, although I think it'll be next season, and my top choice for this is actually Sublime. I think she would be amazing, but after Sublime, I think it would be Diane. Because let's be fair, there's really no one else to give it to. Don't give it to Aglaé. That would be the wrong move entirely, Marinette. Can you imagine? She just gives it to Aglaé. Oh, I know it's not been confirmed yet, but crikey, can you? Oh, disaster. Anyway, moving on to Alya next, because I think it could kind of be related to that. I'm actually going to combine Alya's section with Adrien, because I think Adrien will end the season not knowing about his dad. I still think he's going to find out eventually. It's a when, not an if. I just don't think it's going to be this season. Next season, yes, but not now. Why? I just don't think he's suspicious enough, in my opinion. He's getting there, like in the opening of Lady Chaos and in general in the episode. But in Lady Chaos, he does seem largely satisfied with what happens. So I just don't think he knows enough yet and he's thinking about it quite enough. However, Adrien isn't suspicious. However, Alya isn't necessarily suspicious about Adrien's dad, but she's just in general very curious about what happened in Recreation, and I do think she will find out this season. Ignoring Revelator, since Alya doesn't remember what she found out in that episode anymore, Alya is otherwise very set on being there for Marinette, like in the end of Heart Fixer and of course in the ending of Sad Nancy. She sees Marinette struggling during the Akuma fight, and Marinette confesses earlier that she can't tell Alya what's wrong, as it would involve Alya lying. So Alya at the end of the episode is determined to work out what happened in the fight and recreation using illusions. In the ending scene, Alya is playing things according to the info Marinette has given her, and if she keeps doing it, she'll quickly work out that what Marinette has told her is a lie, because it can't actually play out in Alya's illusions. So while I don't think Alya will work it out in the illusions, since she can't as she doesn't have the right information, but I do think once she realises that, she will confront Marinette, and Marinette, given how absolutely battered her mental health has been this season, will break down and tell Alya. But Alya is so shocked, and she can't comfort Marinette like she thought she would be able to in Sad Nancy, due to how honestly awful it is, and they stop being friends because Alya can't handle being friends with someone who has lied about something so awful. Meanwhile, Adrien doesn't figure it out, but he's suspicious enough by the end of the season that next season he will start investigating a bit like Alya does, but this time he perhaps, instead of Alya with the illusions, he starts with, again, doing Lady Chaos, but this time on his own, and he starts perhaps with Natalie. So leading on to Marinette, who I'm going to combine with Lila, assuming I'm right about the stuff with Alya, Marinette will end the season with being even more depressed than she was at the start of the season, yikes. I think things with Adrien will be fine though in terms of their relationship. I do think they will break up when he finds out about his dad, but they did already break up in Heart Fixer, so I just don't see them doing it again this season. We'll be like, okay, they're just going to break up when anything bad happens, alright. But perhaps Alya leaving the team at the end of the season leads to Marinette making a mistake, on top of everything else she's experienced and gone through this season. Kind of a bit like in Strike Back kind of mistake. To be fair to Marinette in Strike Back, she did genuinely believe Felix was Adrien, so this time the mistake isn't about Adrien as such, but it's more about the state of her mind leading her to make a mistake. As a result of this mistake, which Lila sees as Chrissy Pop, I don't think Lila will find out Ladybug is Marinette, but whatever the mistake is, it definitely gives her more clues as to who Ladybug could be, which she feedbacks to Tomoe. As we saw, Tomoe has kind of stopped believing that Marinette is Ladybug, however, this proof will get her back on the train, so for next season, Lila and Tomoe will work together to really go in on Marinette. But there you go, besties, that's what I think is going to happen. No, at the minute we don't have any airing dates. But I am going on holiday in July, so if you please couldn't air it then, please. I'm going to be in Canada. If you air the finale when I'm away on holiday in Canada, I will never forgive you. I don't know who this you is, but they know. Anyway, besties, I'll let us know what you think of this, and I will see you in the next one.